Hello, everyone. It is NewBeat here from Treaty 7 Land in southern Alberta, and I'm joined by Ageless, who's in Squamish territory. We're getting ready for week 3 of the Peachimari's official Overwatch tournament, and we have a matchup today between Shattered Null and Bronze Boosters.
It's going to be a really fantastic match. I'm really looking forward to it. This is going to be our first time, I guess, for me, especially casting for the Peachimari's tournament. I think you were kind of in and out a little bit there,
Yeah.
NewBeat. I feel like a week ago, maybe 2 weeks ago.
The important thing is I'm always there in spirit, but I am really looking forward to this matchup today. I've seen some of these players play in other tournaments, some earlier on in the Peachimari tournament. Like Hypernut is a very strong tank. Starcana is a great support player as well. So looking forward to some really strong play.
Yeah, and we're going to be heading to Ilios to start things off here. So let's get right to the action here.
Yes, it's going to be a good one. And especially starting on Ilios, it will be interesting to see which compositions these two teams roll out. Depending on which submap we end up getting, there could be a lot of variance between the heroes these teams want to pick.
Yeah, Ilios, because of Ruins, this is generally a map where we might see a little bit more of the long-range hit scan heroes, as well as some really high mobility. However, just by the nature of the way this point is, this can work for a Junkrat, it can work for a Doomfist, it can work for a Pharah. So I'm expecting to see, I'd say, a variety of compositions to come out of these doors here from these teams.
Yes, and I think something that might be a little bit more predictable are the tank lines coming up from these teams. I know I've seen Hypernut play a lot of Reinhardt before, so we'll see if that's something they want to do. They're actually starting an off tank, so they're on the Diva. And on the other side, it looks like both teams are showing a Diva Winston composition off the hop.
It's actually going to be mirror comps across the board here with the Sombra Reaper filling up the DPS and just so much sustain. So these teams are going to be hard to kill here with the Lucio and the Moira. Plus, like, your DPS are so self-sustaining. So we might be in for some longer fights.
Yes, we will. And another game within a game to watch is that EMP race between Aquila and Rubbert. So those two will be trying to build their EMPs as quickly as possible as this first fight gets going here. Both Winstons coming together, getting a little bit of cleave damage in, but not too much so far. Aquila was able to get that hack onto the health pack, so a little bit of extra sustain coming up from Shattered Null on the start. Nobody is able to find eliminations left. But it looks like marlzy is able to get the first one as they take down Helixsnake, and now the point unlocks, so teams have to get on the objective if they want to take that point. Blue Rose has to get out of dodge quickly. They were getting low on HP, and not a lot of options left to them, so the first cap is going to go to the way of Bronze Boosters if they have taken the point first.
This is kind of a nice micro disengage that we saw here from Shattered Null. They give up the point, but not really. They don't really lose a lot of time before they're able to engage again here.
And just you hit the nail on the head talking about that sustain. There have been very few eliminations coming out as Jaynario is able to get a coalescence kill onto JerryBerry, and that might open the door for Shattered Null as they are walking forward behind their main tank. Hypernut is able to get back into the mech. They're getting very close to a Diva bomb, and there is a Primal Rage online for Blue Rose as well. It goes very low, and now the bomb comes out this time. It is from Looking for Beans, and they aren't able to look for anything with that bomb. Starcana is able to get a kill. Hypernut gets 2 with the bomb, and that looks good for Shattered Null. They should be able to get the flip.
This is a really cheap fight for them too. They only use the bomb. Blue Rose gets kind of dropped, I think maybe before they had a chance to use the Primal Rage. It looked like they were kind of itching to use it there, but it ends up being for the best here. So Helixsnake and Akali both have big ultimates coming up here, and here comes the EMP.
And the EMP comes out, it only finds 2, but that might be enough for Shattered Null to hold on to the advantage. With Aquila getting Looking for Beans out of their mech, that's going to be basically an elimination and a half, and Bronze Boosters is going to back up and reset.
Yeah, this is nice, and Looking for Beans goes off the cliff to get that mech back a little bit faster. So Rubbert and NiceAshe, now we're going to be bouncing back here. So Rubbert with this EMP is definitely going to be someone to look for. A lot of tools left here for Shattered Null, though. They're going to have to be careful.
Rubbert comes out with the EMP, and that finds 5. That is absolutely massive. Getting it into the back line and comboing that with NiceAshe, who's able to get the Death Blossom off and take down 2. And now Bronze Boosters is back on the offensive, getting back into the fight. A great engagement coming out on that EMP.
Really nicely done. The EMP and Death Blossom combination, a tried and true fight winner, I would say. They are going to have 2 of their, both tank ultimates. They're going to have the beat here, and Grayhmm is almost up to another coalescence here. So almost all 4 support ultimates up for these teams. Akali, up at 50%, but Rubbert's not far behind here at 25 for that EMP.
This could be the fight to do, and Shattered Null has 5 ultimates online, and a nice manual hack comes out onto AkaliFC, and they actually went over the edge, so Rubbert's able to get a bit of an advantage coming out on the manual hack. Death Blossom comes in from Helixsnake to find 2, and Shattered Null is looking to turn this one around. Diva Bomb comes in over the top. That's going to have everybody scattering, but NiceAshe is not able to escape their fate as they get back to the respawn queue. Now Rubbert's staying on point, trying to contest for as long as they can so they can keep building up this cap percentage, and now members of Bronze Boosters are coming back in as reinforcements. Another manual hack comes in, this time onto Blue Rose, and the follow-up could be there. They're getting Blue Rose very low. They're down to almost 1 HP, but they are still alive into the fight, and now they are finally eliminated, and the numerical advantage is now going the way of Bronze Boosters. Another EMP coming in line for both teams. The EMP comes out first, this time from AkaliFC, and that could be massive, as they got that into the backline, and they are getting the kills on the back of that as well.
Such aggressive play there. I guess you have to use it. You're at 99%, so there's, you may as well throw it in. They're going to have to be extremely careful here. They have nothing left in the tank for ultimates, and Rubbert does have the EMP with Jerry with the Primal Rage as well. So some big tools coming in here. NiceAshe building up to this. Oh, Death Blossom as well, but an EMP to start it off.
Once again, Bronze Boosters looking to engage on the back of the EMP from Rubbert, and this is looking glorious for them as they moved over onto the objective, and they're getting the eliminations to boot. Diva Bomb comes out on the point, trying to zone members of Bronze Boosters off, but to no avail as they are entrenched on this objective now, and just members of Shattered Null coming in and staggering themselves more or less at this point. NiceAshe is able to find 2 on the Reaper. Some great DPS play coming up from Bronze Boosters now, still holding on to the point. And this looks like it's just a matter of time as they have all 6 members on the objective. And the overtime wick is finally burning down. A nice contest coming up from the members of Shattered Null, but it looks to be too little too late as they are coming in one at a time. And it looks like all they're doing at this point is delaying the inevitable. Coalescence comes out as well from Grayhmm, and that's going to do it. Finally, Bronze Boosters are able to take the first sub-map of the day.
By the way that went, I think we're in for a really good match today. A lot of point flips, which you always like to see. Lot of back and forth action. I think you were dead on looking at these Sombras, and it really has been both teams playing around their EMPs. I would say pretty effectively. A couple really nice last-minute saves as well from Shattered Null. Down their main tank, managed to kind of pull it out of the fire there with some nice ultimate usage. This is going to be another one where we're going to have to be, especially careful about these Sombras, but on this, especially on the Lucios as well. This is a map that you can get a ton of environmental kills on, so we really want to keep an eye on those.
100%. Those Lucio kills can be so exciting as well. Teams are coming together right away here inside this little house. Once again, the health pack control is so important in these early fights, as it can be that little bit of extra sustain that allows team to get pushed over the edge. AkaliFC is able to gets hacked and gets taken out immediately, so some great focus fire coming up from Bronze Boosters there, and they're able to get the first elimination, and now they are moving on over to the point to see if they can get that first cap. Another manual hack comes out, this time on the Helixsnake, so that Reaper is going to have to fight to stay alive as no self-healing is online right now. NiceAshe is able to get a kill as well, and now with the kills coming through for Bronze Boosters, they're going to get that first take.
I'm curious about the tank lineup here coming in for these teams. They're both running into supports that are not diveable and DPS that are do a ton of damage up close. you know, they don't seem to be really spreading out and collapsing on players as much as they're playing kind of like a rush comp, I would say, but like with the Winston. So if I'm Shattered Null, I'm maybe starting to wonder about putting a Reinhardt at the door here to deal with this.
There is the ult advantage right now for Bronze Boosters, but it's not too much. NiceAshe gets hacked up once again. Both these summons are fighting a lot of manual hacks. Bomb comes over the top, but it goes a little bit too far and isn't able to blow anyone up. Now the Death Blossom comes out. A lot of healing coming through on the Coalescence. Beans is able to take down their opposite diva number in Hypernut, and that will once again throw the 6v5 in the favor of Bronze Boosters as they are staying on this point. Blue Rose once again getting very low. They're going to have to find a health pack if they want to stay alive. Unfortunately, that is snatched up by JerryBerry, and that will decide the fate of that 1v1. And once again, holding strong are the Bronze Boosters.
So Shattered Null does have the EMP. They do have the Death Blossom coming up. They got the pieces that they need here. Nice manual hack onto Rubbert to start things off. But, like, you got to deal with this Reaper. NiceAshe is finding so much value. They can't be going into these, like, small corridors and small rooms when the Reaper's in there waiting.
With the ultimates available through Shattered Null, this is going to be the fight they want to take, and they are taking it decisively, getting the EMP and Death Blossom out before marlzy is able to throw down the sound barrier, and that will decide this fight. Once again, Shattered Null getting on over the point and now cleaning up the stragglers that remain, and they will get this flip through just in the nick of time as Bronze Boosters are going to get it all the way to 99%, so they only need one more fight for this map win.
This was a really nice EMP dodge there from marlzy. Manages to stay out of, away from getting hacked. Gets a really nice beat down. Just not, unfortunately, not the right timing there. Just a moment too late.
And this is going to be a huge pick coming in. Helixsnake's able to take Rubbert out of the fight early. They had their EMP available, but obviously they're not going to be able to use it right now as they are the first one to go down, and this will allow Shattered Null to take a little bit of extra space and push forward.
Starcana is going to need to be absent from this EMP.
And they are.
They are. What a nice dodge.
A beautiful dodge coming up from Starcana, and that enabled them to use the sound barrier. Now Blue Rose is throwing down that Primal Rage. There is only one member, and now extras coming onto the point for Bronze Boosters, but they might have been put out early with that EMP coming out. Death Blossom comes in. Could that turn it? NiceAshe is able to find two, and Bronze Boosters are going to flip the point, and now it is on the side of Shattered Null to get back onto the point and contest as we are in overtime, and it looks like they just don't have enough members to hold on here, and overtime will run out. And 2-0 for Bronze Boosters, a very good looking map on Lighthouse.
I really like this play. Obviously, Ruins being a lot closer. They're going to have to do something about the Reaper here. We're going to see Hypernut, a very nice Diva Bomb, manages to pistol down someone as well with the Bunny Blaster. Some great Diva play there. Oh, and they just managed to catch Rubbert at the end there.
Beautiful plays coming out. I don't know if there was a bit of a spy check onto Rubbert, but you'll love to see those Diva plays coming out into the light of day. And like you mentioned, Ruins was very close, but it came back and Lighthouse was a little bit further in the favor of Bronze Boosters, and it'll be very intriguing to see what Shattered Null want to change as they get ready for this next map.
Yeah, I want to see a tank change for sure. We're going to see next in what they're going to do in our next map here. So we're going to run to a quick break while we get the teams all set up. So don't go anywhere.
We are headed to Hanamura with Bronze Boosters taking that first map off Shattered Null.
Yeah, it's it started out pretty tight, I would say, on Ruins, and then kind of fell apart as we gone a little bit further into Oasis or into Ilios. Sorry, I do want to see some changes here from Shattered Null. I think maybe something a little bit more robust when it comes to Brawl is probably going to serve them well. Although we've seen kingboomer come in for NiceAshe, so maybe a little bit of a different look that we're going to see from bronze boosters. So maybe they don't need to make the changes. I still think like they're basically playing a rush comp with a Winston. I think they'd find a lot more value running that Reinhardt. Although it looks like they're going to have a completely different look for us here. Coming out the door with some double shield, like a pretty poke-heavy comp.
Yeah, they're running that classic double shield of Orisa and Sigma, and that will be a tougher nut to crack, you have to think, especially coming through this first choke point on Hanamura. And Helixsnake and Akali are on the Junkrat and Ashe respectively. So like you said, a lot of poke and a lot of damage going to be funneled through that choke point.
They're going to have a really smart setup here. This is Hanamura, so we are expecting a Symmetra, and it seems like Rubbert is going to oblige here. They're set up on this high ground. They're going to open it right up to the teleporter, though. They're going to have to be a pretty fast collapse. Looks like they were ready for it.
Yeah, Rubbert was able to throw the teleporter onto the point right away, but a big dynamite comes out there from Akali and claims the life of kingboomer. marlzy is able to trade one back and take down Akali. And with this fight going longer and longer, Rubbert is trying to look to get that sim charged up, but it's going to be too little too late as the members of Bronze Boosters are falling thick and fast, and they will have to go back to the drawing board after that first fight. I don't think they're going to want to try that Symmetra strat again, now that Shattered Null really will see it coming.
Yeah, they're going to have to maybe adjust the way they teleport. They're not going to be able to go right to point the same way. I think Helixsnake on this Junkrat is a really nice choice. Obviously, able to prepare, and you can see Helix is already moving around, preparing for what's likely a bit of a different setup here from Rubbert.
Rubbert actually going to the high ground, and they're going right after Bluerose on that Orisa. So Bluerose has to drop down back onto the objective to try and stay in line of sight of their healers to get that. And an Ad Matrix comes out now from Grayhmm, and they're able to take down Bluerose on the back of that. So members of both teams falling right now, kills getting traded out. And with this fight going on the objective, the longer it goes, the tougher this is going to be for Shattered Null to hold on. Bluerose on that Orisa getting very low and taken down. That is the members of Shattered Null going by the wayside, and this will most likely be a first cap coming through for Bronze Boosters.
Helixsnake is still behind the point. Oh, they waited a little bit too long to contest, I think, needing to jump off. They had built this tire actually very quickly and seemed a little hesitant to use it. I think perhaps if they had, thrown it in a little bit more aggressively, it could have gone a little bit different for them. We saw the tanks kind of get absolutely destroyed by JerryBerry, and already starting with ultimates coming in.
Bronze Boosters playing this one very aggressive, starting to engage with the sound barrier, so using that extra shield to push right onto the point. Bob comes out now from Akali, and that's able to find the Symmetra. Now Akali popping off more accurately. That is Bob going to work on the point, and Bronze Boosters will be rebuffed once again.
Rubbert going for the full team wipe there. A ton of effect there for Akali. They're going to have to be super careful, though, because there's not really a lot to deal with, what is coming their way in the Symmetra now. They're running this double shield, which, provides a lot of, obviously protection from kingboomer, but it is kind of just free ammo for Rubbert. So they're going to have to be careful and play this really smart. And here comes that wall to start stuff off.
That's going to start off. Jerry's getting into the backline with the Reinhardt going in deep. They do have a Earth Shatter online and available, but they're just going to change the Orisa back into spawn and allow the rest of Bronze Boosters to get down in onto the point. And now the Valkyrie has to be popped by Jaynario to make sure their team stays alive, and it is doing wonders as the members of Bronze Boosters are getting just shattered right now, and that is another win for Shattered Null as they are holding tight on this second objective.
This was just kind of, I would say, like a free fight for Shattered Null. They came in, they threw ultimates down, but there wasn't really a ton of point presence. They probably could have gotten a full tick there if they had put everyone on the team. They are running now a pretty classic standard rush comp with the Mei and the McCree. A little bit more viability coming into these tight corridors.
And now
Oh,
the
no.
Gravitic Flux coming out early, and that catches quite a few members of Bronze Boosters and forces out the Immortality Field from Grayhmm. And now the tire comes in from Helix, and that takes out 2. And Shattered Null once again looking strong on point B.
No one has really dealt with Akali, and they're up on this far side high ground on the defender's right. And there's not really anything anyone can do about it. Like, you know, Rubbert and kingboomer can take some pot shots, and the same with Grayhmm. But you're dealing with so much pressure coming in here, and now there's actually both DPS, both supports over on this other side. So I am curious what their setup is going to be here with the tanks being alone, although it looks like maybe going right up the gut here is D.Va at least.
I would have to think Starcana is going to want to use their amplification matrix onto that Ashe, but they're going to actually just throw it on the rest of Bronze Boosters, and that is going to be answered in kind by a sound barrier coming out from marlzy. Jaynario is able to get a resurrection onto Helixsnake, so still a full 6 in the fight for Shattered Null as the engagement moves over onto the point. Bob comes out once again, and the Immortality Field comes out to make sure that nobody goes down to the Omnic Butler this time around. Hypernut finds a nice accretion, and now the tanks are cleaning up for Shattered Null. Helix coming in, mopping up, finishing that one off. And now the time bank is starting to get very low for Bronze Boosters, as they only have a minute and a half left on their attack.
Shattered Null is looking so much better running this more bunker poke comp. I kind of thought that they were going to get kind of rolled over by the rush, but it seems like they're having no problems with it. They're spreading out really nicely, taking these off angles. Akali is finding all of these shots, and so far is basically uncontested, outside of looking for Beans having to basically throw an ultimate at him.
JerryBerry is getting close to an Earth Shatter here, so this could be the final fight. Depending on how long it goes, Gravitic Flux comes out again early from Hypernut, and once again it just does so much damage, and that allows Helixsnake to take down 1, and this time it is the DPS finishing off members of Bronze Boosters, who were able to get a few eliminations, but with the spawn advantage heavily favoring the defenders right now, it looks like Shattered Null is going to hold on and get ready for one last fight to put up a sparkling defense on point B, as they haven't even allowed a tick yet.
The ultimates have been fantastic here from Shattered Null. They're engaging really effectively. Like Hypernut especially has been using them, using these gravitic fluxes to engage, and I feel like it's just catching them off guard. They don't expect an ultimate to be deployed that quickly.
With the meager time left on the clock, Bronze Boosters has to go right down Main Street onto the point, and they're running into all these ultimates, all this damage coming through. Helixsnake's able to get 2 balls back out on the point. Once again, Tire comes in from Helixsnake, but that's just the icing on top of that cake, as overtime is going to run down, and Bronze Boosters just couldn't push through on that attack, and now Shattered Null has set themselves up with a very clear win condition.
Yeah, this is still extremely winnable. I would say, you know, it's going to be a really tough defense. You know, not getting any percent really on the second point is kind of devastating, if I'm honest. But we saw how those bunker comps work. If you can, you know, position yourself well and, you know, bend but not break, it's definitely possible. It's going to be tough, though. Like, I don't want to downplay exactly how well Shattered Null defend there, because they took, you know, what I would say was a pretty weak point A defense. You know, they won one fight and then kind of fell apart and could have used their ultimates a little bit more aggressively. Played point 2 perfectly. like could not ask for anything better here. So if they're able to get a decent offense out the door, they have a real chance at tying the series up.
A Junkrat coming out again on the defense this time from Bronze Boosters. So a lot of Junkrats so far on defense for Hanamura. Rubbert's also gone over to the Torb, which was a very interesting pick.
Yeah, I guess going like full spam. Yeah, so they've set up on 2 different off angles here. Oh, yeah, definitely anticipating this Symmetra play.
And the Symmetra play does come through. Shattered Null is teleported over onto the point, and that's going to force JerryBerry to drop down on the Orisa. And they are running out of cooldowns quickly as the Shield and the Fortify are both out of this fight. Accretion comes through, and Hypernut is able to finish off Beans. And that is going to be a great start for Shattered Null as they are already up a player. And they do have a spawn advantage as well, so they are going to want to translate this into a team fight when staying onto the point. Starcana is able to finish off marlzy. And that means that with the kill coming through with Hypernut taking down JerryBerry, this could spell the end of the point A defense for Bronze Boosters, and that looks to be the case. As the Wrecking Ball comes back, Beans trying to stall as long as they can with the Hammond, but not very long at all. That's going to be the first point taken, and now 5 minutes and 50 seconds left to get just 1 tick on point B.
This is brutal. No one turned around to look at Helixsnake. They were given so much time and space. They just walked behind the entire team. They walked behind the Orisa and everyone else because we're going to get a little bit of a cheeky teleport directly to the point is I think what they're looking for there. And they are going to get it.
That's a cute little teleport coming through there. And then the Sim Wall comes out to enable this. There is a Molten Core coming up from the side of Bronze Boosters, but it might not be enough as that is answered quickly by the Sound Barrier and the Self-Destruct coming up from Hypernut as well. And now Shattered Null looking to take this fight decisive. Remember, they only need that tick, and they're almost already there. Just a couple more percentage points to go. And now the Blizzard on the point looks to freeze everyone in Bronze Boosters in place, and that will do it. A very decisive fight coming up from Shattered Null here on Hanamura, and they are back as they tie this series 1-1.
Oh, it was such a nice Blizzard towards the end. Forces everyone, it's either you stay on the point and die, or you have to leave. They chose to do a little bit of both, and it went basically exactly as would be expected. Hypernut, for me, was the absolute star of this map, and you can see this here in the play of the game.
That was a beautiful play of the game. Obviously, the Blizzard once again really helped that out. But yeah, Hypernut, 68% kill participation, so almost at that number that people like to see a lot. But it was a really good play coming up from Hypernut, and honestly, the tank line as a whole for Shattered Null was great. Blue Rose looked great as well.
Yeah, really stepped up. I think it was a really good look for them. You know, moving away from the Winston, moving away from the dive, they were definitely struggling going into the really high damage that Bronze Boosters was bringing forward to them. Like this different look, they played really well, you know, spreading everyone out, allowing their tanks and their DPS to take some different off angles. I am surprised the tanks didn't get punished a little bit for being on their own. They played it really well, though. I think if they can keep doing this, they have a really good map set ahead of them.
Yeah, Shattered Null was my favorite coming into this out of the two teams, and, you know, they had a bit of a scare for me on Ilios, but they look like they're going to be coming back stronger than ever, especially as we have our halftime break now. So we are going to take that, and we will be back with you in a bit. Hello, everyone. We are back. NewBeat here with Ageless for Peachimari's official Overwatch tournament. Week 3, we have a banger going on between Shattered Null and Bronze Boosters. Both have taken a map so far, and we've seen a lot of great plays coming out, and I think it's going to continue.
Yeah, we're actually going to head to Numbani next, which is a map that I think is probably going to lend itself more to maybe the more mobile comps that we saw from Ilios, from both teams. They both ran that Winston Diva Somber Reaper with the Lucio Moira on the support. So just like really high sustain, but also like really high, I would say like short distance or low distance sustain. So I'm curious if we're going to see maybe things swapped up here. Obviously, Numbani, especially this first point, is, you know, lends itself especially well to mobile comps. Are we going to see these more mobile comps come out? And if so, are they going to stick with a Moira though? That's kind of my big question here, is if they're going to stick to this Moira or maybe move over to a Mercy or a Brig or a Zen or someone that can provide a little bit more long range healing.
You did mention as well the similarities between this and Ilios. And with NiceAshe coming back into the lineup for Bronze Boosters, maybe they're looking to run that Reaper again that they were running so well on Ilios.
I wouldn't be surprised to see the Reaper make a return here. It can be really effective. Reaper's not what I would consider like a super mobile hero, but he is able to teleport into some some of these the high ground and some kind of like back areas. So there's a couple different approaches on this map. I really don't want to see people run a rush comp with a Winston and then take that kind of like top hallway, because they're gonna get completely dunked on, I feel like.
Yeah, it looks like NiceAshe is going to go with the Reaper off the hop, so we'll see if that changes. Bronze Boosters will be the first team attacking, so that is still subject to change. An interesting wrinkle that we have not seen so far today is Monger is coming in on the DPS line for Shattered Null, and they are teaming up with Jaynario to go with the pharmacy.
I really like this pick here, especially if they're anticipating the Reaper from NiceAshe. This is a good far point to begin with on attack or defense. So they're going to be able to put in, a lot of this spam damage to keep everyone a little bit more honest.
Yeah, with the composition that Bronze Boosters is running, it's going to be tougher to counter that fair. They don't have any hard counters like a hit scan hero, like say an Ashe or something of that nature. And already it looks like Bronze Boosters getting into the backline, being super aggressive on this engagement. Hypernut is getting charged up very quickly, but their tank partner in Blue Rose getting low. They were able to get one elimination before they bite the dust. Akali coming back and getting a dynamite kill, but that is too little too late. Bronze Boosters now posted up on this objective, and they will most likely take the entire first point and get this payload on the roll.
Allie does get a late pick. It's not enough though. They just got completely caught out by the speed of the engagement here from Bronze Boosters. They caught everyone, I would say isolated alone, and it ended up in a bunch of like I would say like 2v1s before they just collapsed on the remaining members. Um, Blue Rose on that Reinhardt was on the low ground and just didn't really have a lot of support by the time that initial engagement was done.
Akali was able to get an opening kill, an environmental kill nonetheless, onto NiceAshe. So the numerical advantage right now has swung in favor of Shattered Null, as once again JerryBerry trying to initiate quickly, getting into the backline with that Winston, getting low and taken down by great focus fire coming out from the members of Shattered Null. Akila was able to finish that one off, and now the fighters move back over onto this payload. Shattered Null holding on, throwing out Bob, and getting results. And Shattered Null is going to push Bronze Boosters back, as they are going to wait out the rest of the Bob and get ready for a reset.
Yeah, Robert went in for the hack, the manual hack onto Bob. It's a tough target to hack. It may have not even been needed. It seemed like Bob kind of bounced off a couple walls and ended up in a position that was not great, I would say. So
Hyper Hypernut was trying to contest the high ground there, and they get hacked and then taken out of their mech. So a lot of utility has been lost for Shattered Null as the payload is moving forward. Once again, Bronze Boosters trying to get this one forward and over the line. Self-destruct comes over the top from Bees, and they're able to take down Akala, and that is Akali. My God, I'm having trouble with that name as that self-destruct does take down the Ashe, and now Hypernut is once again evicted from their mech. And with NiceAshe getting a pick onto Blue Rose, the payload has been pushed through, and it is going to keep going here for Bronze Boosters as they have a great time bank coming into point C with 5:20 remaining on the clock.
Over 5 minutes coming in. They've got the Death Blossom. They've got EMP. They've got both support alts here. These are big. I think Monger is doing a nice job, shutting down Rubbert a little bit. But again, NiceAshe is just plowing through this team here. Nice bomb. No.
Unfortunately, Hypernut was not able to claim any victims. Normally, you want to throw that bomb into the hallway a little bit further back when the team is going through theirs. There's less places to run away to. And now the ultimates are coming out from the side of Bronze Boosters as there is a sound barrier and now a Death Blossom coming out from NiceAshe, which really only kills the turret. But that can open up the door for the rest of Bronze Boosters to push forward, and that looks to be exactly the case. Hypernut coming back in on that diva is able to take down JerryBerry, and now with Monger getting beans out of their mech, it looks like Shattered Null is going to be able to hold on here as they are using that spawn advantage to the best of their ability, holding on. And now with the Akali coming back in and getting a kill and the DPS showing up for Shattered Null, they are going to take this fight.
Pretty, I think, just so close to losing that there. This is a stabilization that they need, and you can see some switches being made here. Starcana moving on over to the Baptiste. I think this is a good pick here. They're going to have to be a little bit careful about the Sombra, but it's going to give you that sustainability with Jaynario on that brig as well. So slowly moving over towards a pretty aggressively anti-dive composition.
It looks like Bronze Boosters now opted to just try and absorb as much of this as they can with that extra sustainability. Hypernut has built themselves up to another self-destruct, and we'll throw that in. Looks like they're going around back, trying to do a little more poke damage, maybe finding a kill with those micro missiles, and they're able to get one as they finish off marlzy. So that is no more speed boost, no more healing in the fight from that Lucio. And now Hypernut is going to throw in that self-destruct, maybe just zoning members off the point. They actually finish off Grayhmm, who must not have had their fate available in that Moira form. And now Shattered Null is going to hold on here. They took a long time to stabilize, but now that they have, they are looking much stronger on this third point.
This is such a tough point to take as well. When you get stalled out on the end of third point, Numbani, it's rough. You're basically playing an assault point. The spawns are so close for the defenders. You need to win, as I feel like I say this every cast, but you have to win like 2 fights if you want to get at those last few meters. They're going to need to snowball this in a little bit.
Yeah, you can tick that one off the Ageless cast bingo card because it is something that you do mention a lot, but it does come up, and we'll see if Shattered Null is able to hold on here in this fight. Rubbert's going to go down. They got spy checked out by Hypernut. And once again, it looks like the collapse will come through. Shattered Null getting back on 2 members of Bronze Boosted and taking down the attackers. Beads was able to throw a self-destruct over the top that took down the brig. But Shattered Null seems to be getting the lion's share of eliminations, and they will be able to hold on here. And now they've whittled over 3 minutes off the time bank as it is now dipped under 2 minutes.
This is a great defense. And I don't know, as Bronze Boosters, you have to be thinking you just want to save everything up and just try and, bleed as many alts out as possible before you try and finish this off. Right now, they're just not finding the results. Monger for War has the Molten Core ready to go. Another bomb from Hypernut. Both support alts ready to go here. They're doing a really good job cycling their ultimates. Blue Rose using this supercharger to get everyone's ultimates back. Oh, nice bomb here.
Hypernut's able to get one with that, and the important part here is with Rubbert coming out with the EMP, that could put them a member down, and now Jaynario is able to take down the Sombra, and the rest of the members of Bronze Boosters are getting annihilated right now. A late Death Blossom comes out, though they spent an EMP, they spent a Death Blossom there, and they get nothing for it, and now they only have, realistically, one more push left before they run out of time.
Only 45 seconds left. Seeing that we still are not on our gameplay here, so I'm not sure if some sort of a technical issue. As much as I'm sure you would, love to look at NewBeat and the game's probably a little bit more exciting. So if we can jump back over there, there you go, and Molten Core coming out to start stuff off.
Luckily, we are here for the final fight. There was a Molten Core and Ant Matrix expended by Shattered Null early on into this fight. Hypernut 75 on the way to another self-destruct, but they're going to get frozen and taken out of the mech before that ultimate comes online. Now trying to use that Bunny Blast to get back into the mech. Supercharger comes out from Blue Rose, and there's a bomb over the back that finishes off Hypernut finally. Monger is able to trade that off as they take down JerryBerry, and the fights are coming, or the trades are coming through fast and furious. Only a couple of members, one member left on the point to keep this fight going. Looking for Beans is able to take out the Torb with the Pilot Diva and keep this push alive. And now Shattered Null is coming back, starting with that self-destruct from Hypernut. Is going to take down marlzy. Looking for Beans is able to get a remake kill onto Jaynario for a while. So for this push to look done and dusted, Bronze Booster are back onto the point, and they do have an Ant Matrix to push us a bit forward. They're getting very close to the end. Only 2 meters left to go. Somebody from Shattered Null has to contest, and they do. And overtime is still burning. This overtime has been going on for quite a while now. Another Molten Core comes out from Monger for War before they fall down to their death. And now with the mech going away, it looks like Shattered Null is going to be able to hold on here in the end. Grayhmm falls, and there's very little left on the point. Just the Tracer for Bronze Boosters trying to stay alive, trying to keep this time ticking away. A great job coming through from Rubbert to stay alive as long as they can, but that overtime will bleed very quickly as it has been burning for a long while, and round 1 is complete. Bronze Boosters not able to quite push it in on that third point, but a pretty decent tack overall, and they've given themselves a good chance to win Nimbani.
This is fantastic. You got to be so happy with this defense. It looked like it was going to be really rough. Coming in, 5 minutes remaining on that third point, it looked like everything, the wheels had come off. So, to finish this defense without giving up that third point is massive. If they're able to put together a decent offense here, I think they have a really good chance to take this away.
Shattered Null's defense was very reminiscent of actually what they did on Hanamura. They lost point A quite quickly, and then they were able to hold on to point B without giving up a tick. And it was very similar here on Nimbani, where they were just losing checkpoints, and then all of a sudden at the death, they were just able to hold on and not give that last point away. And now, if they look as strong on this attack as they did on the last map on Hanamura, they could very well take this next map as well. It could go either way, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, like they obviously showed that they have the ability here. We've seen a lot of highlight plays, particularly, I would say, from NiceAshe, who's, took over, I would say, Ilios pretty effectively. They're going to need to do it again here.
And it makes sense that NiceAshe is on the Ashe now, as members of Bronze Boosters are trying to hold on to the high ground. And Shattered Null rotating below ground here, coming out near the objective, getting onto the point. So a bit of a different approach to this point than we saw when Bronze Boosters were on their attack. And now the kills are coming through right away. Once again, 2 already down for Bronze Boosters. They're able to trade one back and get looking for Beans. Is able to get a kill, but the cap percentage is very quickly going to get up to that first tick. Members of Bronze Boosters getting back onto the point, but how long can they sustain this fight as they just keep losing members? Nice bubble comes out there to save JerryBerry's Winston from that charge, but Blue Rose has been swinging away on this Reinhardt. They're getting very close to an Earth Shatter already and helping getting these kills come through. marlzy is the next to fall for Bronze Boosters as the break is back to spawn. And now JerryBerry coming back in on the Winston. They get hit with an Earth Shatter. And it looks like it's going to be just not enough to come through. The dregs of Bronze Boosters trying to hold on as long as they can, but they just can't do it. And once again, the payload will be unlocked and on the road.
I don't want to say that I wanted Shattered Null to play Reinhardt, but I did say I wanted Shattered Null to play Reinhardt, and it seems like it's working.
Yeah, it was a good pred. It's why we pay you the big bucks. And now
Yeah.
Blue Rose getting forward again. Like, already spent that Earth Shatter. They probably didn't need that at the end of the first fight. But when you get that close to taking an objective, you really want to put it in the bag. Now a Blizzard comes out from Akali, but they're actually going to pay for that transgression with their life. Hypernut's able to trade one back once again. Takes out looking for beads. So both off tanks getting in the mix there. Now a self-destruct over the top. That finds two. Another great Diva Bomb coming in from Hypernut. And Jaynario is able to finish off JerryBerry as well. So it's 3 out of the fight. Shattered Null's going to get this payload very close to the end here before there is a recontest that will be able to come in from Bronze Boosters.
Just a lot of free card push here. They are going to get, I think, one more contest here. Looks like they're going to get it with the full team as well. So this is going to be important. The being on that Winston has really come in handy here. Using, oh, I like this. Using the Bob to start the contest.
And Blue Rose is saying, no, Bob, get out of here. Charges them to the end of the map, basically, that spawn room that might open up if this point comes through. And they have pushed it through and extended the time bank. There was just not enough going on there for Bronze Boosters to hold on to the point. And now, once again, Shattered Null is got a great amount of time in the bank with only one more checkpoint left to go.
Oh, Hypernut, what a huge eat onto the pulse bomb from Rubbert. That looked like they had completely locked that fight up, and they might still. Okay, so they are going to finish it off. Do lose Jerry towards the end. They gave up a lot, though. Like that, they have nothing left. Grayhmm does have the nano. We'll probably see it go on to JerryBerry, I would imagine. Or maybe we'll see a raid boss from marlzy to start things off here. But, you know, a lot of ultimates available for Shattered Null here. Both supports Hypernut up to another bomb. They found a ton of value from them. Akali almost up to another Blizzard here, so they're going to have some really good opportunities.
Initiation comes through as Shattered Null throws out the Ant Matrix, but they get zoned off it pretty handily. Brewers finds a nice fire strike on the marlzy, and that is 3 down, now 4 down for Bronze Boosters. They're going to have to use this spawn advantage to get back in as that payload's nearing the golden box of victory. Looking for beans coming in late, so now there has to be a contest that has to come out quickly. Once again, Rubbert coming out on the Tracer, but this time they are immediately taken off the point. Blizzard, they're the zone members of Bronze Boosters off. And now they are falling. It looks like it's all done and over. Only a meter left to go for that payload, and it will get pushed in. Another map goes to Shattered Null. They are now up 2-1 in the series.
Just not able to get that same shutdown. I think the bunker composition that was being run by Shattered Null made it a little bit easier to shut it down.
That's how you do it.
Nice play from marlzy here, getting the old Brig play of the game. She's gonna slap a bunch of people dead. Yeah, both supports gone.
It reminds me of the 2 or 3 weeks there about a year ago when Brig was getting every play of the game because I guess the algorithm kind of messed up and supports were like super heavily weighted for plays of the game, and it was just like Brig here, Brig here. Brig was still like not as nerfed as she is now, so she was more widespread. But that is Brig play that just shines right through it and allows the rest of the team to push forward.
Yeah, getting into that back line and taking out both of your opposing supports the whole time you're healing at the same time. So yeah, there's not really a lot to be done there if the rest of your team is alive and fighting alongside you. We are going to see what these teams are going to roll out to fight alongside them right after this break.
Hello, everyone. We are back. NewBeat here with Ageless for the Peachimari official Overwatch tournament for this Week 3 matchup between the Bronze Boosters and Shattered Null, and we are heading to Gibraltar.
This is going to be a really interesting map for me. We saw that so far Shattered Null has found a lot of success running, the double shield, running these Reinhardts. They struggled a little bit more in the mirror with the kind of like straight dive tanks in Winston and Diva. I'm really curious how this is going to go. This map really favors mobile compositions and dive compositions. This might be the chance that Bronze Boosters really need to get back in it.
Yeah, that makes sense. It was their map pick for this map, and as we get ready to see what unfolds, it looks like I'm just scanning the teams right now, and there are no substitutions. So we will see the same 12 players that we saw on Numbani.
I'm gonna guess that Monger for War is not actually running a Bastion.
Yeah, you're just in a cold sweat. You're watching your least favorite
I
map, and
hate
now
Bastion.
somebody's locked Bastion. You're just gonna have nightmares.
This is Ninth Circle of Hell kind of play.
think you
I
think.
think we're gonna see what looks like, running a double bubble composition here on the side of Bronze Boosters. So that's pretty standard for Gibraltar. It's a mobile comp. They are running the Anna Brig, which I really like, and keep everyone healed up from a distance as well.
So a fairly mobile DPS line as Monger switched over to Pharah and Helixsnake on the Doomfist. And an interesting tank line, to say the least, of double off tanks. No, it looks like Blue Rose has switched to the Winston. So both teams running a Winston right now, different off tanks. One side, the attacking side with a D.Va, and the defending side with a Zarya. And JerryBerry once again doing a lot of damage early on in these fights. Helixsnake trying to find an elimination in the backline with that Doomfist. And going into the back, trying to see if they can finish off Rubbert on that Tracer, but that Tracer can be so slippery, especially for a Doomfist and the charge time on those abilities. But the payload has been moving this entire time, and with Starcana finishing off Rubbert with the Bionade, that is going to be a boon for Shattered Null right now, as they are pushing forward and getting closer right already through the car wash. And now the recontest has to come in for Bronze Boosters, as they are up in the server room and taking a ton of damage, as Monger for War is just high in the sky and obliterating them with those rockets. Helixsnake gets in and gets an elimination on looking for beans. JerryBerry trades that back, but that might not be enough. And now the eliminations are coming in. Resurrect comes out as well. And while this is all happening, the payload has actually been pushed through all the way onto that first checkpoint, so they will get a time extension and move their spawns forward.
Monger did such a nice job of keeping this pressure, getting these rockets in, and they kind of forced everyone into the server room. They weren't able to go anywhere. You have Helix waiting with the rocket punches. You have Monger pouring in these rockets the whole time. They're almost at 6 ultimates here. This is going to be... They're going to need to get a hold of this.
And Shattered Null has already pushed the payload over halfway to the second checkpoint. And Monger for War is just waiting for them to walk inside, and they are going to throw down the barrage, and there it is, and it finds 3, it finds 4!
No.
That is huge coming out from Monger for War. You'll love to see it. The justice raining from above. And that will all but certainly lock in the second point for Shattered Null. They are burning rubber on this payload. They still have 5 minutes and 40 seconds.
They did invest the nano here. I think maybe a little ill-advised, but at the same time, they still have 3 ultimates ready to go. Oh, they did use the Meteor Strike as well. So still 3 ultimates ready to go here. Everything they'll need, at least for this next fight. Not really a lot left here. They're going to have Rally and JerryBerry's ultimate for Bronze Boosters. That's it, and they're just dying outside the spawn. They're completely spawn trapped the entire while. Starcana's just pushing the payload.
Hypernut threw out a Diva Bomb, and the Helixsnake on that Doomfist killed 2 before the bomb ever blew up. This is an absolute shellacking right now. Blue Rose getting in there with the Primal Rage gets 1, and this payload's going to make it all the way in with a record-setting time coming in. 4 minutes and 40 seconds. There is a contest coming through now for Bronze Boosters as they are getting members onto the point. It looks like both tanks are trying to bleed some more time off this time bank, but there's another barrage coming out, and Monger gets taken down. They get 2, and with that spawn advantage coming in, Bronze Boosted might actually be able to hold on here. Nano Boost goes on to the Soldier 76, and that allows them to finish off Jaynario and the rest of the support line. So a big attack visor, the old Pfizer visor coming out at the end there, and Shattered Null finally has to recontest. Bronze Boosters took so long to stabilize, but they just barely made it.
Meteor strike.
This is huge and almost a sneaky back cap there coming in from Helixsnake.
Hello there.
They're going to have to really be careful. If Helixsnake can get onto this payload, it'll move in very quickly.
With Shattered Null up 2-1 in this series, it would have been absolutely devastating for Bronze Boosters if that much time is left in the time bank, but they aren't out of the woods yet. marlzy is able to get a resurrection onto Grayhmm, but it doesn't matter. Hypersnake's in the backline. Monger for War finishing off those low health targets with the rockets coming in from above. A couple direct hits in as well. Helixsnake finishes off marlzy, and that's going to do it, I think. There's just no way that Bronze Boosters can come back from this one. Deadeye comes out from inside the spawn doors, but it's too little, too late. Round 1 is complete, and a very respectable time bank for Shattered Null.
0 to 3.
This is a lot of time to finish Gibraltar with 3:18 left.
Initiating.
That is, I would say, if you're cheering for Bronze Boosters, this is incredibly concerning. They're really gonna need to pull out all of the stops if they would like to turn this around. I wouldn't be surprised to see things start going a little more cheesy, I would say, for their attack. Just unbelievable, to be honest. That's really impressive. Hypernut did such a good job peeling for their supports during that fight. And anytime Starcana started getting low, you could count on Hypernut to be there. And it just ended up in, a ton of sustain and continual card push.
And if you're Bronze Boosters, your backs are firmly up against the wall now. They are down 2-1 in the series right now. They have to take Gibraltar if they want to stay alive in this match. But they really have put themselves behind the 8 ball with the amount of time they let Shattered Null finish with. And it's going to make their attack so important. And they have to, at minimum, get all 3 points with time left in the bank.
And like a lot of time. 3:18 is, it's basically how much time Bronze Boosters have now to take the first point. Like they're going to get like a full point, for full first point of time.
Shattered Null electing to hold up on this high ground for now with the double shield composition. It looks like Hypernut is rotating around, and the rest of Shattered Null will follow, wanting to hold the rest of Bronze Boosters in this car wash. But unfortunately, they are giving up that high ground now, which could allow for an advantage for Bronze Boosters.
They have given up the high ground. It surprised me a little bit to have the tanks drop down. I think you probably could have had one of your DPS down there, although I guess it would have to be Helixsnake, so it's tough. The composition they're running is so oppressive, but at the same time, it's difficult to get a lot of card presence that, if it doesn't have your tanks there.
And luckily they do have the Pharah as well, which is more or less built-in high ground with that jump pack. And it never hurts to have Jaynario on the Mercy with a bit of a pocket as well. Now, Shattered Null seems to be fine, just holding on here. Not a lot of card push coming through. Bronze Boosters don't want to go into that car wash, so to speak, in the bottom. Now Monger for War is going to take down Rubbert, but that unlocks the Nano Boost coming in, and that opens up space for a resurrection. Immortality Field comes out from the other side, but not much doing there. And Bronze Boosters was very patient with this push, but they are finding eliminations. Nice Dragon comes out from Helixsnake, which is able to claim one back. And now Blue Rose going down. This will be a good push coming in from Bronze Boosters. They should be able to get this payload very close to the end.
Yeah, I think a little bit of a mistake not having what, probably Grayhmm pushing this cart the entire time. They had a lot of room for free push there. They're gonna have to fight one more time.
And that fight is already started, and the barrage comes out right away, but Monger for War is not lucky with the barrage this time. marlzy is able to finish him off with the bloodthirsty support. Now Supercharger is online for Blue Rose, and they pop it immediately. And with these kills coming through, Shattered Null is going to push the payload in Bronze Boosters pushes the payload in all the way, and they are pushing forward. So a pivotal fight coming out there for Bronze Boosters to make sure that they can get this going. And we'll see if Shattered Null want to change anything up.
And this is really where we're going to see Bronze Boosters' composition start really favoring them. This middle section of Gibraltar, the shuttle, as it's often called, there's a lot of high ground, and it really benefits you to have it. This mobile comp is going to allow them to have it almost always.
A nice manual hack came out there from Rubbert onto Blue Rose, and that forced the runner to back up. This payload is still getting pushed forward. The engagement is about to kick off here as both teams are coming together once again. As you mentioned, Ageless, it looks like Bronze Boosters are going to want to try and hold on to as much of this high ground as they can with that Diva up there. And both Divas actually battling for the elevational supremacy right now. Hypernut gets a hack put on them, so no abilities available right now. NiceAshe is able to pop the Deadeye and get rid of Helixsnake, but pays for it with their life. Now marlzy is able to get the resurrection, but what can that do with Beans throwing a bomb over the top? The kills are coming through once again for Bronze Boosters, getting back onto the point. Blue Rose just swinging away on that Reinhardt, seeing if they can turn this around for their team. Is able to finish off the Pilot Diva, but not much else. Nano Boost is applied, but they get deleted quickly, even with that damage reduction. And now this payload's going to keep moving. It's getting very close to the end, only 3 meters left to go. And the contest is coming through right now for Shattered Null, but it's going to be tough for them to hold on. Now the EMP comes up from Rubbert. This could seal the deal. That fell onto 4 members of Shattered Null, but they are getting back in onto the fight. And now Blue Rose is back with the Earth Shatter. And looking for Beans is able to take down Jaynario now. Deadeye gets popped once again from Helixsnake, and that finds 2. Shattered Null is going to hold on here. And this is devastating, just like Numbani. Right before a checkpoint gets taken, Shattered Null is able to hold on. And now it's going to be a long walk back, and that's just more time off the bank for Bronze Boosters.
This is less of an advantageous spawn as that third point Numbani, but it's still huge. It is a long walk back to this payload for the attackers. There's still a lot of ultimates available for the defenders as well. They do have the Molten Core, which is great for getting people off of the point. Shattered Null is in a really good position to hold this, with no ultimates on the side of Bronze Boosters for this fight.
Thank you.
Bronze Boosters is going to want to build those ultimates very quickly, as they only have 1:15 left on the clock, and they are walking into multiple ultimates from the side of Shattered Null. Manual hack comes out on the Starcana, so they can't throw the Matrix or the Immortality Field down right now. And the follow-up is there. They're able to take down the Baptiste, and with that healer out of the fight, a lot of that damage is now permanent for Shattered Null. And the Molten Core has to come out right now from Monger for War, and they have fallen. And just enough members of Shattered Null have stayed alive for the time being to keep this payload from moving over the finish line. Blue Rose gets out with 19 HP and are getting healed back up, so that's going to be more ult charge for Starcana, who does have that Am Matrix online. And now we have a final fight on our hands. 35 seconds remaining. Only 1 ultimate on the bank for Bronze Boosters. They will have 2 more coming online in short order.
This is it. This is the last fight to keep them in this game. It's going to need to be perfect.
And Blue Rose tried to find a charge kill onto Hypernut, but they weren't able to claim a victim there. Monger for War is able to get a kill out. That will get the advantage rolling in the way of Shattered Null. Now the Am Matrix comes out. It's going to be so hard to touch this payload. Diva Bomb as well finishes off JerryBerry, whose shield just got melted in an instant. And Shattered Null is just cleaning up. This looks like it's all over but the crying for Bronze Booster. They're trying to hold on, to the payload, and they just can't do it. It slips through their fingers. A little bit of overtime being bought there by Rubbert on that Sombra, but it will not be enough. They're just members coming in one at a time now, looking for Beans coming back on the Wrecking Ball, getting low and taken down. So one at a time, members of Bronze Boosters were trying to contest, but that will do it. Shattered Null wins the map and wins the match 3-1.
They had set themselves up for success so handily with this massive time bank at the end. And, you know, going into this, it must feel terrible. We're going to see Monger for War cleans everybody up. Incredible play there, including NiceAshe, who had pulled out the Deadeye, hoping to catch everyone off guard. 42 eliminations. That's outstanding.
You'll love to see it. That was a great barrage coming out. That was more or less my play of the day. A good map overall. We did see Bronze Boosters win that first map, and then they just couldn't secure any wins after that. 3 wins in a row for Shattered Null will give them the W today. So we are going to see a couple interviews. While we get that ready for you, we're going to take a quick break, and we'll be right back. Hello, everyone. We are back. NewBeat here with Ageless, and we are joined by a couple players that were playing in today's match. We have Monger for War and NiceAshe joining us.
How you guys doing today? How was that game?
Honestly, it was a pretty good game. I had a lot of fun playing, and I'm really happy that I got MVP for my team.
Yeah, I agree. It was an extremely good game. The they were an extremely good opponent that just bested us.
Yeah, it was a really good game to watch. I think NewBeat has a couple questions for you guys.
Yeah, the first question I have is directed towards Monger for War. Just walk us through that barrage. It's not even a question. That was just an awesome play to watch.
Well, I saw the monkey come in, and our Mercy, she's amazing. She started damage boosting me, and I waited for the McCree. He ulted, and I thought it'd be a good trade to trade ults with that because we didn't have a bubble at the time. And
That worked out.
they just so happened to all walk in at the exact our Doom Helix. He got a 125 slam, and we just erased him after that.
Yeah, erased is a very good description of what happened there. So my next question is for NiceAshe. You and the Bronze Boosters looked really good on that first map on Ilios, and you had a really strong Reaper. What do you think it was that got your team through with a W, at least on that map?
To be honest, I think our coordination was extremely good in that map, and I don't know, just a few good Reaper ults and maybe one or two, and just overall just good coordination. To be honest.
Yeah. And this last question is actually for both of you. So we'll go with NiceAshe first and then Monger for War. But after this match today, what do you think you two and your teams are going to be looking at to improve in these upcoming matches?
Hopefully our double bubble. That was not as strong as probably we wanted it to be. And maybe, hopefully, learning what comps we see and switching to hopefully counterplay those comps as they counterplay us. I think that's really important for us.
Cool. And Monger for War, same question for you.
So for me, it would be communication. Like during the quad play, I really didn't tell my team I was gonna do it. I was just looking for an opportunity, floating above them. And outside of that, it would be being more versatile with who I pick outside of Farah, because right after that first point, they went dual hit scan, and it was really hard to play around that. So
Yeah, those are all good things that everybody watching can look forward to in future matches as well. So, for everyone here today, I'd like to thank Aaron, our producer, for giving us all these great looks. As always, Aegis, thank you very much for casting with me. And congratulations to Shattered Null with the win today. And for everybody at the Peachimari's official Overwatch tournament, thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.